The islands of the South Pacific have a special allure. And those of Vanuatu are among the most beautiful. Here are crystal clear waters and thick rainforested hillsides. Here are small villages. And here is the timeless culture of the Melanesian people. Their ways, their traditions, and their music. This is a journey beyond the lagoons and palms into a hidden world. A world that brings past, present, and future together in the joyful, secret music of Vanuatu. The 82 islands of Vanuatu stretch for 1,300 kilometres on a north-south axis in the South Pacific Ocean. Part of the region of Oceania known as Melanesia. The islands were first settled between 3,000 and 5,000 years ago by the Lapita people, attracted as visitors are today by crystal clear fresh water, luxuriant vegetation and a tropical climate. In the 19th century, the colonial powers of France and Great Britain both laid claim to these islands, and in 1906 agreed to jointly manage the territory. They called it the New Hebrides. Technically, it was a condominium, but the arrangements for joint administration, including 2 currencies and 2 official languages, were so jumbled that it became known as the Pandemonium. In 1980, the people who call themselves Ni Vanuatu won their independence and the Republic of Vanuatu was proclaimed. Today, the population is just over 250,000. The language most of them understand is a pidgin called Bislama. But around the islands, 113 indigenous languages are spoken. The highest per capita density of languages in the world. It is not unusual for Ni Vanuatu people to speak 4 or more languages. In the middle of the archipelago is the island of Efate, the site of the capital, Port Vila. Vanuatu tries to balance living in the modern world with a concept that is central to Melanesian values, custom in Bislama, the customary way of doing things. In this rich culture, the people strive to maintain custom in many aspects of daily life. In the villages especially, the daily chores, the patterns of living, the songs and rituals are an expression of the people's connection to the place and to each other. About 300 kilometres north of Port Vila are the Banks Islands. Espiritu Santo is Vanuatu's largest island. Gower, formerly known as Santa Maria Island, lies off its northeastern tip and is the largest of the Banks group. It was here that a unique form of music originated. Vanuatu women's water music. For as long as anyone can remember, the women of Gower and Marilava have made sounds from the waters of the river and the ocean. This practice, called Vuslamlam in the Merlap language, has been handed down from grandmother to mother to daughter for generations. The performance of this music is a symbolic reflection of women working in the water, washing, bathing children and collecting shellfish, as their ancestors have done for thousands of years. The women practice this custom of making etotong, or water music, by splashing, scooping and slapping the water. Driven by women, it is a chance to counter the often male-dominated warrior rituals. It's an accessible practice, being free from the secrecy of sacred older traditions. But it is one that is honed by intricate skills and a deep connection to the islands. Water music combines contemporary performance art with ancient island traditions around water sounds. One of the performers is Winnie Womal.
The music we first one ibin kamat lo mami plumi with them anti plumi lo 1974 the modistap ko lepi lo solota. Okay, what music hemi one came plumi flanumo lo island lo kawa o sem hemi one peble lo mi vlai go swim lo solota mi vlai run and fish el big fish oli kamat and mi vlai save swim. Since 1974, I got 1 year, I've been stopped lo passes plumila. Then mami plumi, mol anti plumi, go swim. Oli stop lo water music, oli stop lo ronematol fish. Then oli yote 1 year, hemi harem noise lo water music, oli koso, oli ask him, ol mami plumi, mol anti, oli play lo tuvla. Then tuvla na iko talema lo nara countries about water music.
Water music has become a means of conserving cultural wisdom and promoting pride in the community. Urban Ni Vanuatu youths, once losing touch with their kin, can now reconnect with their history. But water music isn't just a cultural display. It's a way of life which is being preserved in Luaton village. The village was formed when Sandy Sir, a Ni Vanuatu elder from Merilava, brought together the Merlap-speaking people on the island of Espiritu Santo into a community based around their kinship. This peri-urban village was called Luiton, which is an acronym comprised of the first few letters of the 6 of the Merlap villages in Gower and Merilava: Lequiel, Levetmies, Levetniak, Out, Tesmet, and Ontara. The members of the village have the most important form of kinship in Melanesia: one talk, one talk. They are connected by language as well as by the customary ways of Gower and Merilava. For some of the women in Luiton, performing is their job, their primary role in the village. This is Edith Cecilia.
Me no walk, we walk lo me play lo village. And all play player, one all play player, he me water music. So me like him water music there too much. Me like play lo water music. He got woman we learn me vala, and me one sister lo me name lem and me Hilda. We have me learn me vala lo water music. So me take him. And me learn him all picking him, all pupup lo me, lo di catch up to, and lo di continue.
As a way of keeping their traditional culture alive and flourishing, the men and women don customary costumes for their performances. They dress in garb made from flowers and leaves, coconuts and pandanus, true to the style of Gower and Merilava Islands. Islands where even the rocks and tree trunks seem to sweat life. It was the hard work of some visionary women in the community that developed traditional water music so as to engage all the women and girls. They worked collaboratively with the community to create new arrangements, including Sogor, the sound of big fish chasing bait fish, and Warawak, the rhythm of the creek or river coming from the hills and running over volcanic stones to become the sound of the waterfall. It is largely due to their hard work that the Luiton Cultural Group has become so popular, and that Vanuatu women's water music has been heard around the world.
Okay, so me been start blolanem water music ikamat lo mami blomi. Time I got 6 years old, mami blomi karemi kotan lo solota ista start to trenem hand blomi save move mol finger blomi inside lo solota. Then mi lanem koko kasem tete mi osem naya mi stalo filicha he mi men work blomi he mi water music mi help plante lo side lo Wata music lo helpe mol mama lo Felicia lo play lo wata music.
The water dance Nakia has a beat derived from the Namau, men's dance, and it is performed as the men are entering the Lever, the ceremonial dance space. The men follow the beat of the woko, a slit-gone drum, as they enter the Lever. The women have developed their own version of this beat in the water, called Nakia, which means dolphin. It is thought perhaps that they are playing like dolphins in copying this men's beat, which is why the dance is filled with fun and laughter. The sound of the water also replicates the sound of the blowhole, Nubuzno, when water from the ocean is squeezed through a small passage on the shore and explodes into the air, creating an aural and visual spectacle. Vicky Leary is a junior performer.
Lo claim from England pattern one who magawat ang music so kaya pala ng small one sa
Andiyan na si Sam. Buhat. Yo. Ito.
Nailia means the cave. When the creek flows through a cave, the sound of the water resonates in the stone chamber, creating a unique sonic texture. This sound is associated with the smooth, round volcanic stones used for cooking, as the best cooking stones are often found in the river caves where the water has made them smooth over the years. Neas Isam means the Song of Isam. Isam is the name of the ancestor who first heard this song. The words say, "Come and dance, come and dance. Your dance is beautiful. Everybody loves your dance." When the women perform this dance in the Lever, the rhythm is usually created by stomping on the ground, clapping hands, and through body percussion.
Mo favorite beat lo wata music we emi favorite blomi hemi tarnembe. Okay, favorite sing blomi set lo wata music hemi tamaragate hauto. Hemi language blomi vla blokawa se ol vlaman hemi staun hemi stakil kilim sel kokonat.
So play ya, mi take mi ko kasi. So traveling blomi bala ikolo best traveling bala ikolo Malaysia. Lo mekem pata music lo Malaysia. Lo Big Fala Festival we mi bala 6 mama, mi bala represent them all Vanuatu. And mi bala come back, second calling back again, mi bala go back lo Australia. So mi glad to mas we mi all bala mi no school good. Be mi got chance lo look place. So han blo mi namo mi ko outside.
Mi interest kami piwanto terutama sih kalau si ikut from lugar mana si travel ham, itu kan travel ham, channel terutama sih.
What began as an amateur folklore experiment by trailblazing women is fast becoming an internationally known attraction connected to deeply important rituals. People from all over the world flock to see the shows, and the women have performed in Europe, Asia, and Australia. Revenue raised from the performances has created opportunities and infrastructure in the women's remote home communities. Water music is a way of celebrating the old and the new, of preserving tradition, and of creating new ways of cultural storytelling and sharing them with the world. As we travel from the water up into the village, we travel with the women from their expression of life in music to the timeless routines of their daily chores. For these women, music is a part of everything in their lives. Even now, as the day draws on, and the women begin the tasks of weaving baskets and mats and cooking, the inspiration from their music can be found everywhere. In this peri-urban village, the modern people of Luaton combine the old with the new. Whilst they still have some houses made from bricks and mortar, much of their architecture, their cooking and crafts, are made with entirely traditional materials, like pandanus and coconuts. In Luaton, the weaving of baskets and mats continues a tradition which for centuries furnished the villages with everyday objects for storage and comfort. Tasked with teaching these skills is Cecilia Lolonon.
We start the community, yes, we got small shop where we start work. But men work for me when we start the community, me community work. Me interest too much the community work. So me one woman when me learn more narvala woman, no side no weaving basket, mat. Me one woman when me little more woman no side no custom tanis, sing or custom sing. Sukul kel my torgili, sukul kel my torgili, sukul kel my.
As the women finish their weaving for the day, it's time to start making supper. As Vanuatu's struggling economy penetrates deeper into the islands, there has been a growing need to promote and preserve important traditional wisdom, including stories, music, and dance. In this turbulent time, Luatin in a way has become a reflection of Vanuatu as a whole, a modern society built on long-standing traditions. The people of Luatin have discovered a way to make their village sustainable, all the while sharing their traditions and stories with the world. Even a task as basic as cooking has been used to inspire their music. As we have seen, Nalia, the cave, alludes to the unique sound of the smooth, round volcanic stones used for cooking. For the people of Luatin, music is so intrinsically linked with every aspect of their lives that even daily routine can become art. This is village elder Leah Worry.
Mr. Mama Plomiti Chimi lo weaving, basket, lo walk, lo karin, ale nekem kakai lo hall, lo same. You got all picking in Plomi or pick one. Ale, I want me stop long while alive from every something. Lo ham lo masta no mami give him lo me, ale me make him.
As well as women's water music, the culture of these islands embraces, as we will see, many different forms of music. At the heart of ceremonial life is the warrior. While water music is an art that is accessible to all, many of the men's dances are considered sacred, and only initiated men can perform them, and rarely do so outside the customary places. The men's dances feature conch shell instruments and ankle shakers made from nutshells, and tell stories of their ancestors, of courtship, of warriors, and of animals and birds. The first dance the men perform dramatically challenges strangers. This is the men's warrior welcome. These dances often feature children and young people who are learning the dances before preparing for initiation into the graded societies. This dance is both an invitation and a challenge. In the past, not all people who arrived on ships were friends. In the 19th century, many people were stolen from these islands and sold into slavery in the sugar plantations of North Queensland. Having challenged the visitors and determined that they come in peace, the warriors lead the newcomers to their village. Leading the men is Thomas Vanvar.
Mi train lo tanis lo time mi parparno mo. Ale one uncle lo mi with him mommy plomi em stop teaching me. Mi simol lo mo ating mi also me ale stop taking me finish. Take me go stop follow me lo tanis. Ko time se mi one kam one yang wala.
A welcome speech is given in the Merlap language. Its purpose is to welcome the people into the Lever to view these sacred performances.
Iskan garban walo la sar mura marnao. Denigan serseret wal ke la kungkwariu. Waraswagan mamata na malaklak. Kansen sero laro la sar.
As one performance begins, another ends with the arrival in the Lever of the women. This dance is called Wes Meren, which means break of dawn. Wes Meren is about the early morning when the sun has not quite shown its face yet, but the village has started to wake up. It's a song that carries with it the hope of a new day, just as the sun brings new hope each morning. This has been the final village dance for the women. The chief thanks the women for the Nias Tiab Liang, the women's custom songs, and invites the men into the Lever for the Namau, men's dances.
Mimi kami sablo bisya ata miluki ma persim tanis mista tichimol boy manam lana mangata lo set lo namariano.
The first beat is to mark the changeover from the women's dance, Naliang, to the men's dance, Namau.
Yung set lo namau mimi no arem tiching blembe. Donc sabe blomi, mimi luxe nama emi one tanis plo tevelia. So boss we one money take the you sabe me kem tanis plem. Tam you me prem finish, you high tem finish. Sometime no 5 day or 10 day also na. Am pani me kem tanis plem. MS boss we me kem tanis lo diploman. Nim si tanis e plo tevel.
The next dance is an introductory dance called Vaguera, meaning a staccato of small but strong steps on the ground to animate the ankle shakers. Vaguera warms the men up, preparing them for the following performances. The dance that follows is Nivelvel. For this piece, all the men dance in a line and follow the actions of the leader. The meaning of the song and dance will depend on whoever is leading it. But the idea at the core of the dance is to follow the leader. One of those responsible for finding and nurturing custom performers is Martin Fraser.
Well, something I grow up, custom village, we like set them up, then we start looking at them all people inside all activity. So then we start making me, we start current one look say emi kutumas. Lo look at them all people all say me, lo start one. And I make them all inside the community, and we must good all time. I make them say every something, and we must trade. And we help them with la pagan. And we say we will everyone all like we will live inside the community.
After Nivelvel, the men move into a performance of Nokwon. Nokwon is a medley of dances, which are collectively titled Nokwon, which is the local name for the Pacific imperial pigeon. The dance is about two Nokwon birds talking to each other and dancing through their courtship. As the traditional performances have concluded for the day, the people of Luaton have one more musical talent to showcase. In addition to creating instruments out of nature and their bodies, they also use guitars and drums. As well as the traditional music, they enjoy performing in contemporary styles. This is the Luaton String Band. A musician of many talents is Noel Vanvar.
every play me like I'm blown inside the side lo string man with them tennis and I say favorite play bloom string man me kita kalau tennis sandan kidim tam sandan bayaran singotin saya. Tam-tam kalau saya lo kiling tam-tam na mungkin saya lo bisa isok ya sating lo tam pizza belum ya sesuai olvala hem nogat lo mi pepa mistil take over with them all play the time the pizza belum ya pa kamu temon piknik bisa.
At the end of the day, with the women having prepared the food, the men's contribution is the preparation of kava. Kava is a native plant of Vanuatu. There are roughly 85 different varieties grown on the islands. Kava is used for ceremonies and bringing peace to the villages. Over the course of the day, it has become clear that while these songs and dances speak to history and tradition, they are just as relevant now as they were back then. Luaton showcases the culture of Vanuatu. In islands throughout the archipelago, people both maintain and innovate on the traditional ways of village life. Luaton celebrates traditions which the Ni Vanuatu are proud to share with visitors from around the world.
When I'm now interest play you blow you sabe co perform lo will inside lo hot play you we come out le we come out lo hot play you.
In today's Vanuatu, tourism is important. This is a country with mobile phones and television and the internet. If tradition matters, if customary ways and indigenous languages matter, if diversity matters, then now more than ever it is important to cherish what the people of Melanesia call custom. In Vanuatu, by valuing their customs and allowing those customs to live and evolve, the people are preserving their identity while moving with the times.
and nemi interest mas lomi time go out lo narola country lomi mimi klat. So mi film lomi mi stab every time mimi klat no mo. That's why mimi gladness plomi he mi stab bringing me mi stab go out.
Well, Tiro, Titan.